good?
Greetings, welcome to ruralvacantland.com. This is Luke Smith, and I'm on the line with Dave Montero, and we're working on a mailer. We're looking at Pinal County in southern Arizona, and Dave's been studying Pinal, and we've been talking back and forth about Pinal, and mainly because you can split land in Pinal County pretty simply if you're doing above 10 acre properties. So if you're making more than 10 acres, like 10.01 or something and up, it's pretty easy to do land splits. If you're making less than 10 acres, then you got to get the surveyor and the maps and get things recorded, and you got to go through more steps. You got to get permission. Basically, you got to get permission to get your splits okayed, even if it's just cutting them in half or minor land divisions. You still got to get permission under 10 acres or 10 acres and less. So we're trying to target 10 acres and more, and just a bunch of land there just south of Phoenix that looks interesting. So we're going to try to mail it. And if you're just joining us, this live YouTube feed, I plan to give some land away at the end. So please stay tuned, listen, answer questions at the end for some free land. And Dave, is that about where we're at?
That's basically it, yeah.
Maybe
anything more than 10 acres.
Yeah. Maybe I can introduce Dave a little bit. Dave is, you're a Land Academy member, right, Dave?
Yeah, that's how we met. We met through Land Academy, and we're looking to partner on a deal together, basically. So I'm going to invest in the marketing, and then I'll track the calls. I'll take the calls.
Yeah,
and then
Dave's taking the calls on this one.
Yeah, and then we'll split the profits.
Yeah, maybe I put up the money. We'll see. We'll see what deals come in.
We'll take it. Exactly. We'll take it from there.
Take it from there. See what happens on the phone. So I see that some of the guys are chiming on the chat. Joe Bauer says, "Hey, Luke, he's on there pretty good. I think he won one of the last properties." Forensic Contract Audits live again. He's online all the time. Redefine Living again. These are all the common guys, the same guys that show up. And then Mark Nita is saying, finally catching a live one. So there's a new guy. Wicker Possum says, I'm in. Kurt Butterfield says, hi, Luke. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Kurt. Yeah, so if you're just signing in, I'm going to give some land away at the end of this live mailer. We're going to be crash test dummies and see if we can figure out how to mail Pinal County with the basic idea of making 10 acre and up properties. So let's I'm just going to start a new. Let's pull up, because we were kind of looking at zoning and stuff, so let's pull that up first. Where do I get the zoning, Dave? It was like Pinal County. GIS.
Exactly.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah, so GIS is Geographical Information Systems, if you guys are following along. A lot of these counties have their own geographical information system. They put all kinds of data in there. And, like the assessor parcel number, so you got lot lines and stuff. So I was looking at that. Let's pull that one up. Let's pull up, they also had one that's, well, if you're looking for where the flood map is, they got a flood map on there. I wasn't really looking at that. Zoning viewer, comprehensive plan viewer. This could be interesting. Air quality viewer, general land status viewer, voter districts. Got all kinds of data, but I was going to look at zoning viewer because I care about the zoning. So to be able to split land up, it's got to pass zoning, because I don't really want to do all the paperwork and regulations of how to change zoning. I'm sure it's not that in depth. I'll probably do it someday, but for now I'd rather just stick with the zoning that's there. And so here's Pinal County. Here's Phoenix up here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up Pinal County on a bigger map, and we'll zoom in. I should have started there. Pinal County map. Maybe we can start with like just want a good map of Pinal County. Maybe that Google map was the best. So for the guys that don't know where Pinal County is, here's Phoenix. We're looking at Arizona. Phoenix is south central Arizona in the southern United States. Tucson is south of here. So Tucson is down in Pima County. We'd mailed Pima County in a previous video, and I can't figure out which way to zoom here. Here we go. This is a bunch of desert land, and a lot of it has saguaro cactus. A lot of this up here has farming. There's a lot of irrigation going on. We were zooming into the border, which is really interesting. If you see this, here's Maricopa County. This border here really changes from like cookie cutter houses to farmland with a county line. So there's definitely regulations going on over here that aren't going on in Maricopa. Maricopa really lets you cut that stuff up into tiny itty bitty little lots and build houses all over the place. This is more country, it's more rural. There's a lot more 5, 10, 20, 40 acre properties. There's some little properties in here too, but a lot of it's a lot bigger acreage. I've driven the 8 through here, the 10. I've driven these main roads. I've never been on these back roads through this part of the area. But as you drive through here, you can see how much wild open land there is. And it's like nothing, 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 and all of a sudden there's some action going on. A lot of that's government land, like the Greens government, and then there's a lot of like, here's, I can't even pronounce it, a bunch of Native American, Indian reservations around the area too. So that's a lot of this county is just taken up by government and reservation land. But what's left is what we hope to buy. As we look at some of these other maps, this is a county map, and this one is parcels. I think if you zoom in enough, you'll see the parcel map. Yeah, Assessor Parcel Viewer. I might not be in some place that there's parcels. Pretty sure this map works for parcels. I'm just doing live streaming a couple different directions. Yeah, so here's different, well, those are houses. This greater chunks are parcels. These blue lines are parcel maps. So that's where you can get parcel maps, Pinal County. This other one is zoning. And so this is what I really wanted to get into, was the zoning, because the zoning is very specific of where you can and can't split. So here's the Indian reservations. This slight, dashy stuff's Indian reservations. You can see how much of that's taking up the land. Here's some mountain wilderness preserve stuff. Looks like it gets some higher altitudes in there, 4,300 feet. And you can see these different colors. These are different kinds of zoning. So there's like different groupings of zoning, and the white stuff Dave was pointing out is, what's the white stuff, Dave?
That's the GR, which is, it's general rural.
Yeah. So studying that, it sounds like we could break that up into something really small if we wanted to, like 1 acre if we went through the paperwork. But I don't think we're going to take it that far. Maybe people that buy the land from us might take it that far. Someone is saying, can you show us the maps you are looking at? Kurt Butterfield saying, can you show us the maps we're looking at? I'm trying to show you the maps we're looking at. You just go GIS, Pinal County GIS, and you can pull up the parcel viewer map or the zoning code map. Rick Wagner says, still looking for some Arkansas land, but free would be awesome. There you go, Rick. Stick around to the end of this one. I'm most likely giving away Arkansas land today. Someone else saying he's waiting for his check to buy some land. Thanks, Dale. And howdy, Luke. Howdy, guys. Ping. I can't read all these. So I just got a 40-acre lead in Mojave. Andrew McIntyre saying I just got a 40-acre lead in Mojave County today. Might be interesting to split it. Yeah, Mojave's fun to split too. You can do 5 splits in the minor split, or go get maps recorded for more than 5 ways if the zoning lets you. Oh, they're saying can't see the map. What map? I see what's going on. I'm sorry, guys. I understand. I got the wrong screen pulled up. I'll do that. Let's go back a little bit and share some maps. I'm sorry. I had the wrong screen pulled up. So here's the map of the county. This map is just south of Phoenix, and so the county is just south of Phoenix. So I was saying this is the county between Tucson and Phoenix. It should be some ripe land to go after, right? And then this is a map of the assessor parcel number with the blue lines that you can pull up by Googling Pinal County GIS, and you can get the assessor parcel numbers. You got to zoom way in to see the actual numbers, and I keep hitting the button so it doesn't stay on the screen. But you can zoom into these different areas and figure out who owns what, looking at that. And then this map, it has the zoning. So this slatted stuff is the Indian land, the Native American land. I zoomed it too far out. See if it loads. Yeah, so the stripy stuff's the Indian land, the green stuff is government land. I think this brown stuff is military land or something. Then the colored stuff is private land but has zoning that we didn't study and understand. And then the white stuff in here is the general zoning. This is like the other land, the hinterlands, the outer lands, whatever. That's what we're focusing on. So zoning seems to be the easiest on that stuff. And the white parts of this county could theoretically split down to 1 acre if you want to do all the paperwork and go through all the permissions and stuff. So thank you guys. Thanks for asking for the map, because I didn't realize I had the wrong screen pulled up. And then saying the maps just left my face, but I didn't have it pulled up first. Okay. Joe Bowers is looking up prices on land in Pinal County. He's saying there's 30 acres going for $30K and 40 going for $40K. The 10 acres are going for $20K. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's what we came up with.
Yeah, we were looking at it before. There we go. Thanks, Luke. Yeah. Okay, now the guys are understanding it. They got the message through to me. Thanks for chiming in the chat. Do the whole video with just my ugly face on there. Heart and lungs are bad. Need clean air to camp. Please help. There you go. There's got a bunch of properties on my website. We started with my website, ruralvacantland.com. I think a good place to go is the map search, and you can pick out properties all over the country and click on them, and you can learn more about them for specifics. But tonight we're trying to buy some new properties to put on the website. And we're looking at Pinal County. I got Dave on the phone, and if you stick around to the end of this call, I'll give some land away. We got 44 people on here. I think that's the most I've ever seen on one of my live calls at any one time. So thank you everybody for listening. And one of the guys was talking about Land Watch land prices. Land Watch. We go to landwatch.com and we do what Joe Bowers was doing. Pull up Land Watch, Pinal County. I use Land Watch because, I don't like Land Watch so much. They just keep raising the prices, but I keep using Land Watch because it's easy to slice and dice the land on there. So let's see. Let's do 7 acres. 7's about the same as 10, right? If someone's gonna buy a 10, they'd probably settle for a 7. If the price was right. Price, low to high. Oh, 7.6 acres, 12 grand. Marana. So Dave was saying this Marana place. I'm not sure I'm saying it right. It's down the south. That's actually down in Pima County, but as you get down towards the border, southern end of the border, you get that. Boy, that picture makes that land look ugly. See if they even really tell you where it is. They don't really tell you where it is. But yeah, that's more than $1,000 an acre. I think some of the prices Joe Bowers is coming up with there, Googling this, you get a little bit bigger acre, just $1,000 an acre. I think Dave was running into $1,000 an acre as at the minimum. But as you get kind of around 10 acres, it's 20 grand for a 10 acre. I mean, you got to buy a bunch more acreage to get $1,000 an acre. Here's 8 acres for 20 grand, 10 acres for 25. It's under contract. This one looks like it's got real cactus and views and stuff, so I'm not surprised. 26 grand, 27, 29, 30 acres for 30 grand. So there's $1,000 an acre. If you're willing to cough up 30 grand, you get $1,000 an acre.
And they tend to be a little bit cheaper near that town, Eloy.
Eloy, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can learn a little bit about these $30,000 30 acre ones. They don't give you the zone GR. There you go. General rule 1.25 acre minimum at 2 cents a square foot. Oh boy, 2 cents a square foot. Seller will carry. Nice. See it today. Buy both parcels for a great deal. $49.9. So what's both parcels? 30 acres. I still wish they'd tell you where it is. I mean, they give you an MLS number, but I'm not a realtor. Like this ad is on, it's on a website for non-realtors. I mean, why don't they just tell you the GPS location or like give you the lot lines and stuff? Well, maybe this is it. Hopefully that map's working. This is Eloy stuff. Let's see if it goes into the actual lot. It might work.
There you go.
This person's doing a little better than a lot of the people that list stuff on there. Forensic Contracts Audit is asking something I'm curious about, Luke, and you might know the answer to this. How would we get land on Indian reservation, or is that even realistic? Yeah, you can buy land on Indian reservation, but you're not buying it from the state. It doesn't go through the courts if you have a argument. It goes through the tribal council, whoever is the head honcho, chief, yahoo person of the Indian reservation. You might buy it from his brother and then he wants it back, and good luck, you know, if you get to keep it or not. So that's a different story. But I used to finance natural resource projects, and some of them were on Indian reservations because they can't raise money from the big finance houses. It raise it from the penny stock guys like me. And we do the risk capital depending on the deal to go for it. I wonder if that's a hill. But yeah, you can get the land, you get the resources, you can do deals with them. I mean, you just go negotiate with them. Each Indian reservation has different laws, rules, regulations, stuff, and it's basically the guy that's the head honcho of the Indian reservation. Whatever he says goes, and if he dies or changes or whatever, then the next guy, whatever he says goes. You might get booted as soon as the people change over, or if they don't like you. I mean, they'll throw you out, and you can't go to court. I mean, you're not in U.S. court systems or laws or anything. So in the Indian reservations, the banks don't loan land, or they don't loan money on the land to go build a house. So when you go to the Indian reservations, you see a lot of mobile homes, and they got financing for the mobile home. They can take the mobile home away, but not the land and what it's attached to. So you just see a lot of poor conditions because they don't have access to capital, because they're not in the banking system. They're not in the court system. I always thought it'd be fun to set up corporations in those kinds of systems to get out of lawsuits and stuff, but I never really figured it out. Or if you want to do casinos or online gambling or some other, I don't know what. T-Fox saying, how's it going, Luke? Hope you're doing well. T-Fox, I think you've been on every live feed I've done. Okay, so Jack talked about it on today's podcast. What? Hooligan Khan. I can't ever say your name. You got the best avatar, though. The guy with the gun. What do you talk about on today's podcast? So I think we've studied this land pretty well. I think it's the cheapest stuff in there is $1,000 an acre. I'm not saying we just did all the studying right now. Dave and I were looking around a little bit earlier. If you guys can go find some cheaper than $1,000 an acre land in Pinal County, Even the ugliest ugly fugly one out in the countryside, I'd like to hear about it. If you could chime in, that'd be great. But I think it's kind of $1,000 an acre is the ugly stuff. So if we buy it cheaper than that, we're in business, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's figure out the data. Let's pull up RealQuest. RealQuest is through Land Academy that we were talking about before. I got a subscription there, and they hooked me up on RealQuest. And so you get this software, and then you can get all kinds of county data from them. And so what we're going to do is, it's database stuff, right? So you got to get used to using databases. It's not super user friendly, but I mean, it's not that hard either. See if it logs in. My system's going kind of slow because I'm doing screen share with Dave and live feed with everyone else. Jenny Rodriguez is saying, is there a filter on your site that has no restrictions? So I'm thinking land with no restrictions. You know, all the land has some kind of restrictions of some kind, but it's I try to point out the ones that are the easiest. I mean, they're all in the U.S. They have like federal restrictions, right? Can't launch rockets from your land to certain heights. So Arizona, Pinal County. Dave, what should we search for?
We could put in, I guess, the zoning code, and we could put in GR.
Yeah. Let's do that. So we just want the GR ones, the ones we can split.
Yeah. And
let's just go one at a time. I like to go one at a time and check my counts.
Okay.
So click on it, see how many records I got. This is 16,000 something. Yeah, 16,267. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Let's add something else on there. Probably size. Let's get the size knocked down.
Okay.
I like lot acreage. What size are we doing? 7? 7.5?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, 7.5 to.
Let's do 7 to what? 50?
What do you want to do? Okay, 50.
Well, if we got 50, might as well do 55. It's gonna make 5 of them. It's got to be something a little over 5 acres, would be, or a little over 10 acres. Let's try 7 to 55, huh? So we're trying to make 10-acre lots. We're trying to get as many 10-acre lots without going crazy. I don't have the money to pay for the 55 acres. Is already a lot.
Yeah. No kidding.
It's a GR. So 16,267 on GR. If we add the 7 through 55, that should take out all the small ones and a couple big ones. Let's see how many properties that gets us. Software spinning its wheels. 2810. Okay, so we're down to 2810. Let's go back. Let's add some more constrainers on there. Let's see if anyone found any cheaper land. William Suttle saying thank you for sharing, watching from North Carolina. Oh, okay, Jack was talking about buying on reservation. He said to stay away. Yeah, that's a good idea. I've never bought land on a reservation, but I've financed natural resource projects on lands that's been bought off a reservation. Jenny Rodriguez, okay, I got that one. I'm not that lucky to win any land. Where is this? Mindy Lamento is saying, where is this? This is Pinal County. So if you're just coming in, this is Pinal County. This is southern Arizona. I'm going to give some land away at the end of the video after we figure out how to buy some land in Pinal County. I'm not going to give Pinal County land away because I can hardly afford this stuff. But I'll give some cheaper land away that you can make some money on. I'll go resell it for you if you want me to, or you can just run with it and do whatever you want. Give it to your grandkids or something. If you want me to go sell it for you, I'll probably sell it for you for like 5 times the cost of what I buy it for. And I'd charge you half the profits on it. Um, love the sound of free land. Thanks, Timothy Wilkins. It's fun, right? I mean, how do you get water in Arizona? Are wells dug? Wild laws, got to check Indian laws out. Yeah, they're different on every reservation. Water catchment, Arkansas. Okay, so we should talk about water while we're doing this. So we got lot acreage, we got zoning code. What else should I narrow it down by, Dave?
We could go with improved percentage.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So the idea here is we're trying to get rid of all the ones that have any improvements on them. You know, like a house or something. Because I don't want to go take a tour of somebody's house. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to sell it to you. I don't want to drive over there and look at it, or decide or figure out what to do, deal with the banks and insurance and everyone else. I'm trying to keep it easy. I just want vacant land. Vacant land's the hardest to mess up. Nothing to burn down. Nothing to steal, take off with. 2291. So that took a couple of them out. So out of our database, like 500 of them roughly were had improvements on them. Assessed improvements. So a lot of it's vacant. We're going to talk about water. So someone was asking, how do you get water in Arizona? So Arizona is very progressive in rainwater catchment. You can drill wells. Yeah, you can drill wells, but people don't like to pay for them. And so if you're willing to do rainwater catchment instead of drilling a well, you can figure out the average rain in the area. It's probably like 15 inches around here. And most of it comes in like July and August. You can get some tanks on your property and you can plumb them so that when the rain comes, they fill up your tanks. There's lots of ways to collect water. Arizona, you're not supposed to collect it off the ground. Once it hits the ground, you're supposed to let it hit the ground. You can use it for your garden. You can push it around. You can route it around, reroute it, and everything else. But you're not supposed to take it and then go flush it down your toilet or whatever. But if it comes off your roof or comes off your barn or comes off of rainwater catchment of some kind, even I think driveway, hardscapes, road, that kind of stuff before it hits the ground still works, I believe. I've seen people doing that. I'm not 100% sure that's legal. But you can get a lot of water with those kinds of catchments. Someone's talking about when it does rain, you can divert it into a pond area and then pump it into a tank. Yeah, a lot of people do that. I'm not sure it's 100% legal to do that in Arizona because it's supposed to be once it hits the ground, then you're supposed to let it hit the ground. Your cattle can go drink. You can use it on your fields and crops and gardens and landscape and everything, but you're not supposed to take it beyond that. People do, nobody cares, but yeah. Yeah, there you go. Joe Bauer saying check out DIY homestead projects on YouTube. Great videos about rainwater catchment. Yeah, that's a really good one. I think it's Derek something. His wife's got really good cooking shows too, so that's a good recommendation, Joe. Yeah, check out DIY homestead projects. He does rainwater roofs in Cochise County across the desert. Really good way to do it. Okay, so we got lot acreage, we got improved percent, zoning code, and we're talking about water, how much cheaper and easier it is to do rainwater catchment. Thousands of dollars instead of tens of thousands of dollars to get your water solution solved. So we're doing a bunch of different kinds of land here, and I'm wondering if I go look at that list, if we're gonna have like government land and park land and U.S. something, because we don't have any land codes in there, land use. Do you know what I mean, Dave?
Yeah. Under land use, you also have Native American property, so we could filter that out if we wanted to.
No, I meant like residential or industrial or whatever. Your state of Arizona,
Right.
William Spellman. I think that he just didn't pay taxes or something. Let's just pan through a couple of these, do a spot check. Because you don't want like the HOA community, the association of
Right.
something. Sometimes you can get that out of there with land use codes.
Yeah, I'm looking for that right now.
But looking at this list, I mean, it's a lot of different names in here. It's not even that many dupes. I mean, there's a couple dupes, but it's not like city of something, village of something, water district.
Right.
There's a bunch of different investment companies and LLCs and stuff. This is a more sophisticated bunch than a lot of the Arizona properties I look at. Here's state of Arizona. There's only 2 of them there. Here's USA. Don't want to mail them. It's a bunch of USA Cap. I don't know what that is. Allure Land Investments. So let's go to some kind of land use, maybe county land use or state land use, and see if we can narrow it down past the 2291. See if there's a county. I think it's county land use. Let's try this. County land use. Just say county land use isn't done. Okay. They don't have county land use. Maybe they got state land use. State land use. State land use comes up. Let's see. I don't want warehouses. Vacant residential. That sounds good. Vacant undetermined. Vacant non-vacant. Vacant residential non-buildable. Let's not do that. There's a whole bunch of vacants here. Let me just try this one. Vacant residential. Let's just try that. Let's see what happens to the count. See if it kills the count or if I still got most of them in there. Yeah, it killed the count, so that doesn't work. Using the wrong one. Sorry guys, I'm just killing some stuff on the computer. What is going on here? Okay, I want count state. State land use. And let's just take all these vacants and then we'll get rid of some of them. Where'd all the vacants go? Come on. Follow land. Federal residential. So if we don't have the federal in there, we get rid of some of those. Golf courses. You know, I'm wondering, because we got the zoning on here. I'm just thinking out loud. So we got zoning, like we're already limiting it by zoning. And so a lot of this stuff is going to be weird zoned, like Indian property, industrial. I mean, a lot of this stuff's not going to show up. Maybe if we just go by zoning and then we clip out the USA and the state of Arizona and the county park or whatever. I think it would be easier to just strip some of those things out of there than trying to figure out which state land use codes to use. So I'm changing my mind. I say we drop this state land use if we were not using zoning, if we were doing just 7 through 55 acres across the county, then I would really want to be diving into state land use. So I think the other thing that we could do to get rid of some of the fluff on here is we could get rid of the super expensive ones, like the assessed values. So if we went for this total something, right? Total assessed value. So we got 200 or 2,291 records. Dave, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. My phone was someone else was calling it. Just making sure you're still on there. So 200,000 records, or sorry, we got 2,200 records. So I would like to do like the 80-20 rule, because I used to be in finance, and I see like how the 80-20 rule would really shine through. Like 80% of your time goes to making, I'm not saying this right. Let's say a stock portfolio. You got 10 different stocks in there. 2 of them make 80% of the profits. One of those probably does 80% of the 80%. The other 80% of them just are horrible. Performance-wise, the bottom 1 or 2 are just wish you never got into them in the first place. The same thing happens in all kinds of finance. I don't know if I'm explaining the 80-20 rule very well. Like the guy that came up with the concept is Pareto. He's an Italian dude, and he used to garden, and he used to study the pea pods in his garden. And he noticed that 80% of the peas came from 20% of the pea pods, and he started studying those statistics in lots of different places, and it shined through, and it just stuck. And so those statistics just play out in society and culture, and especially in economics and finance. And so when you're doing mailers like this, if we just mailed the bottom 20% valued properties, we'd probably get the highest hit rate out of them. It might not necessarily be the highest margin properties. Like if we mailed all of them and we got one that's in the top 10% assessed value or valued, we hit it out of the park. But those are the people that are also the most likely to yell and complain the most when we mail the offers. So I think the idea of just mailing the bottom 80% and just skipping the top 20% gives you lots of good shots for big upside that some of them might come through. You still get some yellers and complainers and stuff, but you just really cover the board. If you want to be on the cheap and just like skimming by, just mail the bottom 1%, 5%, 10%, 20% or something like that. That's where you're going to get most of the deals. Those aren't necessarily the biggest bang for your buck deals. If you wanted to get more strategic about it, you could skip the bottom 5, 10, 20% of the population and just mail the middle, or just target the best of the best, depending on your strategy. And so if we use the total assessed value to do that, I got no friggin' clue what the assessed value of these properties are, but we can do some easy statistics to figure out a distribution, like where 80% of the population of properties is. Does that make sense? Like if we just start playing with these numbers, we can cut off the top 20% of the properties and not pay for the data and just focus in on those ones. And so if you give me a minute or two, we can do that. So I'm going to try 200,000 top cutoff, and we'll see if that gets rid of any of these properties. 2291 is what we had before. 2239, so we got it cut down a little bit. So what's 80% of 2291? 2291 times 0.8. We want to get the number down to 1832, or right about there, for 80%. So if we go back and we do a little bit of iteration, something less than 200,000. Let's update to 200,000. Let's maybe try 150,000. Just walk into it. We'll probably go too far eventually and go back until we get to about 832. And then we got the bottom 80% of the marketplace, with the rest of our criteria being met to mail offers to. And I think that's like one of the best statistical ways. 2181. So we want to go less than that. See if my data comes back here. The quotes are going by. Haven't been able to keep up with all the chat. Hulagu Khan is saying Rainwater Harvesting for Drylands and Beyond, Volume 1, 2, 2nd edition. I made some book reviews about those books in the past. Those are some good books. I got them sitting around the office here somewhere. Yeah, he said, I lived in Phoenix years ago. No water, only monsoons. Yep. Any water in Ash Fork? There's water all over the state. It rains. It just rains sporadically, and you got to get it into a tank. That's the art of it. You get more water than we do here in Southern California. So 150. Let's change 150 down to 100,000. Average rain here is about 10 inches. People pay a friggin' fortune for the land around here. So I don't think it's about the water. It's about the infrastructure to move water around, or the lack of it, or the will, people's will. 2,059, so we're going to keep going down. Guy's saying he loves the Flagstaff area and move in a minute if he could afford to. Yeah, Flagstaff's a little more expensive than lots of the properties I get into. Beautiful though, just beautiful. So should I just do 100,000? I'm losing track of where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, you did $100,000.
Okay, 2059, yeah. Let's try 75, I guess. This is good. Some of the assessed values aren't way out there. $19.02, we're getting closer. So let's just go down maybe 60,000. 50,000. Let's try 50. $15.84, 50,000 is too low. So we went past it, now let's keep going up. Somewhere between 50 and 75. Do you understand the logic of this, Dave?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This is a good strategy.
I never know if I'm explaining stuff very well or not.
No, it makes sense.
I mean, you can just buy the data and then do it later, but save a little bit doing this.
Right.
1832. Can you see the live chat, Dave?
I can actually.
Do you want to read questions off? If there's any in there. 1806.
Close this window then.
We're getting closer. Maybe just minimize it, huh? That's pretty close. I'm just a little bit over. Do you think we're missing anything in the scrub? I think we got a data set here.
Yeah, I think we're good here.
Let's pull it.
The next thing you want to do is go to land use for like to eliminate the Native American land or any of the other.
We're not going to have Native
categories.
We're not going to have Native American land because they're not in the tax roll.
Okay.
93.15. You got to times that by 2 to get the actual cost. 93.15 times 2. 186.3 in data. I just like to write stuff down as we go. Okay. I'm gonna grab it. Do you see any questions in the comments? Because I can read while I'm downloading too. Carrie Corsair is saying, hey, I can't believe I made it on time. I think you were saying in one of the comments, when's the next video? When's the next video? Yeah, I want to give some land away at the end of this video if you're just chiming in. Shifreel, I can't read them all. I'm buying a spot in Cochise County myself, trying to get away from the gay bay. So expensive and dirty here. Yeah, there you go. Very expensive up around San Francisco. So I don't think he was in Phoenix, though. I think he was near Tucson. Are you guys talking about DIY homestead or the homesteadonomics guy? He's not in Phoenix. I think he's in Pinal County in Diamond Bell Ranches. That's where he's at. So he's a little south of here. And then the DIY homestead guy, he's in Cochise County, kind of the western part of Cochise County. I got the data. We could look up his property if you wanted. I'll leave him private though. So I had a pothole in my street in Florida and they left it open for quite a long time. Make sure it wouldn't sink more. They finally filled it the other day. Here in Yuma, our average is a whopping 7.5 inches. Yeah, unfortunately, catchment isn't really even a viable option. Yeah, Yuma County is weird about catchment too. I mean, they really want you to drill a well. There's just not that much development in Yuma County because it's really hard for water. The regulations really pour on you there too. Luke, will washes eventually get eliminated with improved infrastructure as areas prosper? I don't know if washes get eliminated. They get hidden. They go hiding back into different areas. People try to canal them, corner them, bend them around, force them into something. I mean, that's a lot of rainwater planning that people do. So we got the data set pulled up on here. I don't think I'm going to bore you guys with like taking out duplicates and stuff, adding mailer data of where it's going to get mailed, but let's look at let me save this before I mess with it. Use an ODF format because I kind of like that better. Okay, so let's see what we got. I want to look at pricing, see if they got pricing in here. Here's the zoning codes, GR, assessment year. This database has hundreds of columns. We got land value. Look at some of these. It's coming up with a land value of $150. Another one's $500. Next to it's $47,000 or $222 or whatever. Yeah. So don't go make offers on land value or market land value off of these databases. They don't make any sense. Property tax, that's always curious. I'm just getting sidetracked here as we go, but I'm gonna sort by taxes. Some of these got $2 in taxes. My normal software for looking up land doesn't seem to be working right now. Parcel Facts, I'm going to use Agent Pro. Something, maybe I didn't pay my bill or something. I don't know. It just doesn't let me work.
Yeah, it hasn't been working for me either, actually.
It didn't work for you. It says renew your subscription. Yeah, I got to call them and figure that out. So I'll try Agent Pro. We'll pull up some of these lowest tax ones and some of the highest tax ones, see if they make sense. Sometimes the lowest tax ones don't make sense. Like, not gonna buy that. Oftentimes the highest tax ones don't make sense. Like, I don't even want to make an offer. Tyler Michael got the cheapest taxes around, $2 whatever. Let's look at this thing. Let's see. There's people driving here, or there's washes, or what? This kind of looks like a road over here. There's houses over here. This might be a... Can't tell if it's a ridge or a valley. Kind of looks like a ridge. This looks like a valley. Maybe it is a valley. Maybe these are washes coming off of these going down. There's still a little road over there. I mean, I'd probably buy that cheapest one and the cheapest tax one in the county. I'd leave that on the books. Let's take a look at the next second cheapest one. Why can't I copy it? There we go. Uh-oh. It's the same one. Why are the two APNs the same property?
Strange.
Did it not search right? It didn't have the number in there. Yeah, that's a different property. I mean, there's houses next to it. Doesn't look like there's access. That's pretty close. I mean, there's a stream in there that's screwing up the access from that road to the property, but yeah, it's pretty junky access. It's on a hill. There's a water tank up here. It's probably a pretty steep hill looking at it. I could just leave it in there. It's not as crazy as you'd think. This one's got a structure on it. It's got a road, it's got access, partly in a wash. I'd still go for it at the right price. So let's look at the most expensive ones. Here's a state use ranch property. I wouldn't have searched for that one. Glad we just bought them all. There's the taxes. $8,000. Then there's some below it with no taxes. farmland, huh? $8,000.
That looks nice. I mean, that's
It's like downtown Maricopa.
yeah.
Yeah, because look at all these other ones. They're split up into crazy little. Oh, Casa Grande.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, if you got something like that, you go split happy on it. There's a road. Power. Still $8,000 in taxes. I think just leave it.
It's too much to carry.
Yeah, I'd still just leave it on there though. And then why are these other ones? Do they not have taxes? How many we got? 1762 to 1864 of no taxes. Let's take a look at the names on these and see if it makes sense why they don't have any taxes. Yeah, USA Customs and Border, USA City Improvement Districts, Hernandez, Carlo, Mary. Like, how did they not get taxes? State of Arizona Industrial Development Authority, Green Reservoir Flood, City, Royal West. I think we take all these no tax ones out. So let's find that where the taxes end and then take out the rest. There might be a couple in there. They're just bad data, but I still think we should take them out. You agree?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So the ones with no taxes are like the weirdest. It's an oxymoron, right? Like, I wish I owned land with no taxes, but
exactly.
There's usually a reason. Why can't I find the tax column? I went right past it. Tax value. Property tax. Okay, so let's just cut these off. Save as something. Dave, can you see the comments and see if maybe read some of them or answer, see if you can pull up some questions while I play with this?
I think you went through all these.
Let's get to the price, total value. Cash down. 520 grand down. I don't know. Prior sale price. Okay. About ready to start ducking.
Here's a question about your site, Luke. Is there a keyword search on your site that searches text, description, details?
Tax. Say that again. Tax.
Text. Is there a keyword search on your site that searches text, description, details?
Yeah.
So if you put in like a keyword.
Yep.
You do have that.
Yeah, on the front page or any of the pages, if you go down towards the bottom, there's a green like search bar. You can type stuff in there. You could type the APN number in there. You could type the county, you could type the city, you could type all kinds of stuff in there that might come up in one of the listings, and it'll show you all the properties that have that in there. I use it all the time I put the APN number in there or the property ID number in there, and it goes specifically to that property that the person's asking me about. I use it a lot.
Right.
It's not very obvious. Like, I wish it were up top and more obvious. Maybe I should work on that, but it's not. But it's at the bottom of the page. Prior sale price. So this isn't going to be so easy to use because we're looking at lots of different size properties. But it's still kind of entertaining. I mean, here's a $10 one from 1998. That's like mom and pop style transfer or something. $2,800. Let's see if we can get a 2012 $5,000. 2011 $7,500.
Wow.
These are after 1998, or yeah, 2008. Sorry, not 1998. After 2008 crashes, 2000. So there's 2011, $10,000. 2011, $13,000. So somebody got some sweet trades through there. I'm sure it can happen again. If we go put the offers out there, we could probably get something through. 2000. Right. So let's see if we go 2001, 2000. It skips up pretty quick into the 20s and 30s. 2010, 30,000. 2017, $40,000. Let's see what that is. 2017, someone paid $40,000 for. Find the lot size. This is Eloy. So it's not like this hundreds of these things trade a day when it's really easy to get a price and what things are trading for. 41 acres for 40 grand. Like, that could have been, that'd be pretty sweet, right? You could take 41 acres, you could split it 4 ways, you could make it 10 and a quarter acre each, and you sell them for $20,000, or you could sell them for a bunch more even at those prices. 15 grand a piece, you'd still be the cheapest in the market for 10 acres. You make 20 grand at the rates they're talking about. I mean, not a double, but still interesting numbers. So my point was, these things don't trade all the time. So when everyone's like, oh, the price is this and the price is that, it's like, yeah, but it doesn't trade that much. And every property is specifically different, and there's all kinds of scenarios. It's more like trading art than trading a commodity. There's a lot of touchy-feely stuff into the price. And convenience. Like, we're going to offer these people really good convenience, make it really quick and easy for them to sell the property. If they want to sell it. They don't have to go through a whole bunch of tire kickers on these properties. Because when we go sell them, I mean, you can tell like how hard it really is to sell these properties. It's a lot harder than people make it out to be.
Oh yeah, exactly.
These are all pre-2008. Well, here's 80,000 in 2009. I mean, pre-2008, there's a bunch of crazy numbers. 2005, 2004. So far there's not a whole lot trading after 2008 in here. There's 2017, $155,000. Wow. 2015, $172,000.
Wow.
I'm not offering that much money. Some of these people will probably get mad at me. 2005. These are all still pre-2008 numbers. So looking at the county records for this data set of what we're doing, there's not that much that trades. 2005. I mean, I'm into the crazy numbers. what is that? Is that $23 million it traded for?
Get rid of that one.
Let's get rid of these.
That's like the center of town.
It's multiple lots, so it could have been a whole bunch of lots in there.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of this $500,000 to 23 million slice. And then there's a whole bunch of them that haven't traded in forever. There's no price on there. Going way back. So the vast majority of them are like really old hands that are holding on to them. So even the county data is kind of we just put offers out there and see.
You never know what you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. What's this? All a dial title deed would pay no taxes. I don't know. Here's a good lot to give away today. Cheapest land in Humboldt County. The one not in Shelter Cove. Yeah, that's a good looking lot, but I can't give that one away. I can't afford to give that away. I just got some more Shelter Cove lots, guys. Like I got one ocean front. I mean, that's supposed to go up on the website today. I'm not sure if it's up on there yet or not. Dave Maos is saying, how much land do you give away on here? I try to give land away every time I do a live video, and I hope to give better and better land away over time as I can get into this a little bit more. One person saying Hudspeth County, Texas, you just build, no permits to pull, no building code other than state-approved septic system or composting toilet. Yeah, Humboldt, you can do composting toilet. You don't even have to have a septic system. Someone's saying, is Bill Gates building a dream town near this area? I don't know if he's building a dream town near this area. He's got a barn over by my wife's barn here, not too far from us. Saw him in line the other day, like the coffee shop. Robert Thomas saying, really good art analogy. Someone else talked about art. Carrie's saying, I have no idea how to play, but it's fun to learn. Andrew McIntyre saying, Bill Gates building smart town near the White Tank Mountains in Arizona. Huh, that's neat. I wonder if it's for employees or something. Saying, yeah, 45 minutes west of Phoenix will be named Belmont. Kurt Butterfield, that's where the amusement park is going into in Casa Grande. So they're talking about different things that are getting built. Spaceport going in El Paso. Saying Arizona will become oceanfront. Another guy saying Arkansas is an okay state. And Carrie's saying, Luke, is there a nationwide zoning map? Oh, that would be easy. That'd just make it too easy. No, the zoning is done by county. And even inside the county, there's different cities. Those different cities have different zoning, and different jurisdictions inside the county have different zoning than the county. So there's county land zoning, and there's local municipal zoning. Sometimes they go on top of each other. Sometimes they're exclusive of each other. So trying to put together a map of that for the whole country, yeah, right. That would be very complicated, and I don't think there'd be that many people that'd be interested in it. It's usually the local people that are interested in the zoning. So I think we got this pretty boiled down. Dave and I are looking at prices, and we were thinking like $500 an acre. Going $500 an acre on these properties and seeing what people say. See if we get some properties out of it. I think it's not going to be a straight $500 an acre. It's going to be more like $5,000 per 10 acre lot that we can make. So like the smaller ones, 7 to 19.99 or even 20 or 20 square wouldn't even make 2 lots. It's got to be 20.01 or something to make 2 lots. I think we'd just offer $5,000, and then if it's 20.01 to 30 square, $10,000, and just step it up per 10 acre lot that we can make. Just offer $5,000. And so if you want to buy some of these lots, like if we actually get them, if they actually come through, we get some deals that come through, there's a link down below in the description, and you can put money in there. You could put a down payment down, or you could put the money you want to pay for properties. And if we don't get properties, I'll just return the money to you. But if the money comes in and you're you're sincere about it, I'll pass the properties by you. I'll say, this is the deal we got. This is it. This is what we can do. This is economics. This is how it looks. So the first person to put money in there gets the first crack at these properties. And I charge a 25% markup to the cost of these properties. So what is that? It's $5,000. It's gonna be 6,000 something. I should be able to do that math. Is it 6,250? Let me just do 5,000 times 1.25 equals, yeah, 6,250 per 10 acre lot. And you know, so if it's like 55 acres it comes in, I mean, I could have 5 different people sign up for it. I mean, I could buy some, you could buy some, we could have a bunch of different people buying bits and pieces of it. I could draw easements in there. I'll do all legal descriptions and stuff, and you can turn around and sell one of those properties. You could sell it for $100 down for the rest of your life, or you know, $500 a month, or sell it for 15 grand or 18 grand or